Fashion influencer reveals ancient Islamic wisdom that changed her life forever. She had millions of followers, luxury trips, and a life everyone envied, but inside, she felt empty. One dusty old book, one verse, and one whisper from her heart changed everything. Watch how this fashion influencer left fame behind and found a secret ancient wisdom that transformed her life forever. Layla had always lived in the spotlight. Her Instagram was a kaleidoscope of vibrant colors, luxury trips, designer shoes, and flawless selfies. At just 27, she had millions of followers, brand deals that paid her more than some earned in a lifetime, and a life that many envied. But behind the glittering lens and the endless stories, Layla felt a growing emptiness, a subtle, gnawing hollowness she couldn't quite name. Every evening, she scrolled through her feed, watching herself parade through stages of perfection. But inside, a quiet voice whispered that none of this mattered. At first, she ignored it. She told herself she was lucky, she was blessed, she had arrived. Yet, the whisper persisted. It was almost like someone was asking her, "What is this all for?" One rainy afternoon, as Layla wandered through a small, tucked-away bookstore she had never noticed in the heart of her city, she stumbled upon a leather-bound volume titled Ancient Wisdom of the Prophets. Its golden Arabic script shimmered even in the dim light. Curiosity drew her closer. Inside, she found passages about gratitude, patience, and a deeper connection with life, a framework that seemed almost alive, speaking directly to her unsettled heart. One passage stopped her cold. The heart that remembers Allah is never empty. The soul that seeks Him is never lost. Her fingers trembled as she read the words. For the first time, she realized that all her followers, her fame, her endless scrolling, and her curated perfection could never fill the void inside. She had been chasing fleeting applause while ignoring the eternal call of her own soul. Over the next few weeks, Layla began a secret exploration. She watched lectures on Islamic history, read about the lives of the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and even listened to soft recitations of the Quran. Each story and each verse seemed to breathe life into parts of her she had long neglected. She was particularly drawn to tales of women in early Islam. Strong, intelligent, graceful, devoted women who had influence far beyond their time, yet remained humble before Allah. One night, Layla couldn't sleep. She took her phone and typed into a search bar, "How to find inner peace through Islam." What she discovered amazed her. Ancient Islamic teachings that spoke directly to the anxiety, emptiness, and performative life she had been living. She read about dhikr, the remembrance of Allah, and how even a simple phrase like Subhanallah wa bihamdi could transform the heart, cleanse the mind, and bring tranquility in ways social media could never replicate. The next day, Layla went live on her Instagram, expecting her usual barrage of comments about outfits, trips, and beauty tips. But this time, she did something different. She shared a small snippet of what she had learned. "I've been chasing the world," she said softly, "and I realized that all of it can't fill the soul. I've found guidance in an ancient wisdom that has transformed my heart." The reaction was immediate. Some followers mocked her, some left, but hundreds began asking questions. They were intrigued, curious, and even inspired. Layla realized that her influence could be repurposed. Instead of promoting fleeting fashion trends, she could share eternal truths. She decided to take a bold step. Layla began documenting her journey, her moments of reflection, her learning of prayers, and her encounters with Islamic scholars. She posted videos of her reading passages from the Quran, reflecting on their meanings, and sharing how they applied to her hectic, modern life. Her followers saw a side of her they had never known, vulnerable, honest, searching, and profoundly human. One particular story struck a chord. Layla shared a moment when she was sitting by the ocean, overwhelmed by a sense of purposelessness. She whispered the words, "La ilaha illallah," for the first time in sincerity. She felt a weight lift off her chest, a clarity she had never experienced. Her heart raced, tears streamed down her cheeks, and in that moment, She understood that true beauty and true fulfillment were not about the glimmer of gold or the applause of millions. They were about connection, sincerity, and submission to the one who created her. The transformation was gradual but undeniable. Layla stopped chasing validation from the digital world and instead focused on nurturing her spiritual growth. She began fasting on Mondays and Thursdays, offered prayers regularly, and learned about the etiquettes of modesty and character in Islam. Even her fashion choices began reflecting her inner change, graceful, elegant, and modest, without compromising her unique style. She realized she could still express herself, but now was guided by principles that elevated her soul rather than feeding her ego. Her brand evolved in ways no one could have anticipated. Collaborations shifted from purely aesthetic campaigns to projects highlighting ethical fashion, charitable work, and awareness of sustainable living, all framed within Islamic guidance. Her engagement grew, not because of superficial allure, but because of authenticity, wisdom, and the heartfelt transformation she radiated. But not everyone welcomed this change. Some sponsors withdrew, some critics laughed, calling her preachy or out of touch with modern trends. Layla felt the sting, but held fast. She remembered a saying from the Prophet, "Peace be upon him, the best of people are those who bring benefit to others." She realized that true influence was not about fame or wealth. It was about impact, even if it came with resistance. Layla's turning point came during Ramadan. She traveled to a historic city in the Middle East to immerse herself in the rich tapestry of Islamic culture. She visited ancient mosques, learned about early Muslim scholars, and participated in communal prayers. One evening, as the call to Maghrib prayer echoed across the city, she stood quietly on the rooftop of her hotel. Tears streamed down her face as she felt a profound connection to Allah, a connection deeper than any number of followers or likes could ever provide. In that moment, she whispered her shahada, embracing Islam fully, consciously, and joyfully. Her return to social media was met with a mixture of curiosity, skepticism, and admiration. Layla shared her conversion story, not as a spectacle, but as a testimony of guidance, struggle, and discovery. She posted heartfelt videos explaining how ancient Islamic wisdom transformed her life, emphasizing that her journey was about truth, peace, and purpose. Her followers were captivated. Millions watched, shared, and commented. Many confessed they had been searching for the same answers she had found. Layla's content now held a magnetic authenticity. Every post was a blend of elegance, spiritual reflection, and practical guidance. She spoke about gratitude, mindfulness, and ethical living while staying true to her love for fashion and art. Her followers grew, not just in number, but in depth, with meaningful interactions that transcended superficial likes. One day, a young follower messaged her, "I was feeling lost, like nothing mattered, but your story made me start learning about Islam. Thank you for being honest and real." Layla smiled, realizing that the emptiness she had once felt was now filled by purpose, guidance, and the joy of helping others find the same light she had discovered. Through this transformation, Layla learned that true influence was not measured by likes, views, or wealth. It was measured by impact, by guiding hearts toward truth, by touching souls in ways that endure beyond the fleeting glare of fame. She had traded the hollow applause of the world for the eternal satisfaction of connecting with her Creator and uplifting those around her. By embracing ancient Islamic wisdom, Layla found the secret she had been chasing all along: a life filled with meaning, a heart filled with peace, and a soul aligned with divine guidance. Her journey reminded everyone watching that no matter how lost one feels, no matter how far one drifts in a dazzling but empty world, Allah's guidance is always near for the one who seeks sincerely. In the end, Layla didn't just transform her content. She transformed herself, and through her authenticity, she transformed thousands of lives across the globe. Her story became a beacon, a proof that even in the most glittering, chaotic, and superficial corners of life, the eternal light of faith could shine, illuminating hearts and leading them to peace. And as she often said in her videos, with a smile that radiated both joy and serenity, you don't have to be perfect, but you can always find the path that perfects your heart. And that path begins with Allah. If you're feeling lost in the chaos of life, know that guidance can come from the most unexpected places. Follow our channel, deeninminute, and discover inspiring stories like Layla's, stories that can transform your heart and soul. Click subscribe and start your journey today.